Hey friends, so I am at one of my very favorite events here in DC. This is the National Cherry Blossom Festival, and I happen to be here on April 1st, and according to the predictions, this is supposed to be peak bloom day. So I'd like to take you guys for a walk around my favorite event that happens at the entire year here in DC. I swear there is no feeling of peace in the world like walking underneath these trees and just having this like archway of white petals hanging above you. So of course, before I go any further into this, I do want to make sure that I give a shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Flow Toys, LMF Props, Spinballs, and Ultrapoi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. So as I'm walking underneath these trees here, I am definitely struck by just how awesome a few weeks I've had here. I, of course, got back from my Midwest workshop tour just a couple weeks ago, and just in time for peak bloom. How lucky is that? The experience of going on that workshop tour was really incredible, not just because of the awesome people that I met and the connections I was able to make, but also because of just how much it kind of filled me back up with this, you know, love and desire to get the flow arts out there and to, you know, it really helped me kind of refine my mission in a lot of ways. It was really inspiring to go from city to city and see not just how excited people were to be in the room and everything, but also to see them make breakthroughs, to see them have moments where they did things that they didn't think were possible before. And of course, this is something that I live for as a teacher, but getting to see it like firsthand as people were doing it in my class was really something else. You know, there was definitely a point at the end of the year last year when I wasn't quite sure what I was doing or even why I was doing it. And being out on the road and getting to see firsthand the people that the work that I produce has an effect on their life and everything really meant quite a lot to me. And you know, it was kind of funny because as I was out there on the road, I started getting lots of videos from people in other countries, from Egypt, from India, basically showing me stuff that I was putting out there to the world, and that was, you know, getting to receptive eyeballs half a world away as I was traveling through the Midwest. I also have to say, being at the Gateway Arch in St. Louis is seriously one of the coolest things that I have ever seen in my life. I'm going to make my way around here to Jefferson because doing the circuit around the tidal basin here with all these trees hanging over your head is one of the great joys of coming to the Cherry Blossom Festival. So yeah, it's been a remarkable couple months here, and you know, one thing that I'm really struck by is not just that I got to do this incredible thing that is very, very outside the norm of kind of what I'm used to and everything, but also that, you know, it was a success that I put it together, and that in the process I really got to, you know, make a lot of people happy. And when it comes right down to it, that should be the point, right? And you know, it may seem like kind of a dumb moment to a lot of you guys out there, but I really wasn't sure if people were going to sign up for those workshops. I wasn't sure if anybody was going to sign up. And more to the point, I really wasn't even sure that the stuff I was going to teach was going to be stuff that people were interested in learning from me. And seeing the ways that people turned out and that they, you know, contributed in the room and everything, I definitely had more than a few proud moments of watching people, you know, be able to put pieces together that I know were important to them. And, you know, in a lot of cases too, one of the biggest reasons people came out was just straight up to meet me, to put, you know, a face to a name and actually connect with the person that they've seen in videos so many times. And, you know, there's something to be said for how you can improve somebody's life even by just showing up, you know? It's funny because it's like really hard to explain now in retrospect just like how positive an experience it was and why it was such a positive experience. And the great thing is that now that I'm home, I'm just like filled with energy for all sorts of projects. For one thing, I've been working on a Poi choreography project with a good friend, a former student. We're going to be taking that to Flame Festival. Hopefully we're going to be shooting some video of it later on this year, which I'm really looking forward to, because it is kind of the first thing I've done with Poi dance that is really showing up as being what my intention was. As most artists will know, if you make it even like 50% to what your intention was with what you're creating, you are way ahead of the curve. And of course, I'm excited about the possibility of getting back out on the road again. There were a lot of people while I was out on tour that were requesting that I come to their neck of the woods. And, you know, I am totally down for that. Now that I've done it once, it's going to be easier the second time for sure. I'm just like so grateful for all the people that showed up and all of you guys out there that are watching these videos. Like, it does dawn on me on occasion that I have a pretty awesome job when all's said and done. I get to put content out there to the world that gives people something that they can sit down and enjoy doing. Sit down for a couple hours and do something that's going to take your mind off of whatever happens to be in your world at that point. And, you know, in the grand scheme of things, that's actually a really powerful thing. You'd be surprised how many situations there are out there that are deeply complex and almost impossible to make a difference on. Woo! Got a helicopter coming overhead here. You'd be surprised at how many situations there are where it is so difficult to make a real difference. And yet, at the same time, those 2 hours that you get just to yourself with the tool can have an enormous positive impact, not just on your physical health, but also on your mental health. And it's kind of cool that I get to do something that helps people find those moments. So obvious questions, am I going to do it again? Hell yes, I'm going to do it again. And what's next? Well, you guys are going to have to keep your eyes peeled, because I'm having a good time and I'm feeling very creative right now. And you never know what's going to come out of that unique cocktail. So I'm almost to Jefferson, and there's this really funny spot halfway along the tidal basin right here, where it literally just drops off behind me, and you can basically just jump into the tidal basin if you want to. There also is this point coming up, which I've never quite understood, where there's basically a Jersey barrier that's erected and a little planter right next to it, and it's this crazy choke point. And especially when the Cherry Blossom Festival is happening, you wind up with these massive blockades of people trying to get through that point. I've never understood why that's there. Hey, so here we are at the Jefferson Memorial at the other end of the tidal pool, which, or tidal basin, excuse me, which, I've got to say, making this circuit along the tidal basin, basically coming down from the Washington Monument down to the Jefferson Memorial, is really incredible. Not just because you get to walk under so many of those beautiful cherry blossom trees, but also when you get to the end, my goodness, do you have a beautiful view of the National Mall and all of the beautiful cherry blossom trees out around the tidal basin. I gotta say, this is, doing this walk is probably my favorite part of the Cherry Blossom Festival. You know, on my trip I got to see some pretty damn cool stuff. Stuff that I either haven't seen in a long time or I've never seen at all, from the Field Museum and Sue the Tyrannosaurus all the way to the Gateway Arch and everything. And through that, one of the things I've really come to realize is not just how beautiful a world there is out there, but also how beautiful a city I live in. Because I live in one of those places that people like to come visit to see beautiful things too. And I don't take advantage of that nearly as often as I should. So when all's said and done, right now I'm feeling very energized and I'm feeling very grateful. I have this incredible job and I have people out there that get to do cool things based upon the content that I create. And you know what? That's a pretty good place to be in. And I don't know what else to say aside from the fact that I feel really lucky right now, and I'm grateful for all of you guys out there that are watching right now. And I feel very grateful for those of you who've joined me on this here journey. So thank you all so much for watching and for coming along with me along the cherry blossom walk along the tidal basin and listen to me kind of wax on at great length about how awesome my trip was and how it has inspired me since I've come home and everything. And of course, before I set you guys loose, I just want to put a massive thank you out there to all of my wonderful supporters on Patreon, because without you guys, the videos on this channel would not be possible. And if those of you out there who are watching would like to sign up to support the work that I do, you can head on over to patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi and sign up to become a supporter. And I thank you guys for that in advance. In the meantime, I'm probably going to get just a little bit of flow on out here, and hopefully that should wind up in the final version of this video.